Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today, we're going to do the top 3 things, Louie's 3 guides to growing your collection. This also works. This could be, I could have titled this Louie's 3 things to growing a TCG business. Could be Louie's 3 things to growing your Pokemon collection, your Magic collection, your Sorcery collection, whatever you want to call it, your Labubu. What are those stupid little things that people, the Beanie Baby things? Today we're going to talk about 3 things you can do to grow your collection in a healthy way that also allows you to have some form of exit liquidity to your collection. I think that's really important. Anytime somebody talks about collecting, I think you need to understand that when you talk about collecting, there has to be a knowledge that at some point you're going to want to buy a house or do something for your family, or you're going to have medical bills pop up and you're going to need to sell your stuff. When you sell your stuff, you want to be able to make the most amount of money back on those things. So here's my 3 things. When you're growing a collection, 3 things to do. Number 1 is to buy for years, okay? We are in a world right now where everything is so quick-paced and instant gratification, and that's kind of fun, not gonna lie to you. It's kind of fun to watch the numbers go up rapidly. It's kind of joyful. But the reality is, whenever you make a purchase of a card game or a booster box or a single, whatever, the filter I put it through is, do I want to own this for 5 years? If the answer is no, even when stuff comes into the shop, like a bigger collection comes into the shop, and it's just for me, purely a transactional element of business, not even for my collection, I filter it. I still filter things through this idea of, if I can't sell it, am I okay holding it for 5 years? That 5-year number it's not magic. It's not like a magical number. You don't have to put it in a lockbox for 5 years. But the 5-year number to me allows you to say some things. Number 1, do I need the money right now? If I need the $100 right now to pay my bills, I shouldn't be spending it on the Pokemon box. I just shouldn't. If I don't need the money for 5 years, then I can let it sit. I can let it do what I can sustain the ups and downs of the collectible market, the volatility of the collectible market. And so when you buy something, buy with the idea of, hey, I'm going to hold on to this for at least 4 to 5 years. Now, if you're just talking about instant quick flips, that's not what I talk about. That's not my type of channel. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I think when you buy something, buy for years and then continue to buy consistently for years. And this leads to the second point, is to increase when everybody else decreases. And right now we are in what I think is there's a lot of signs that we might be at the top of the TCG market. I actually think that we're going to keep going for a little bit, and then you're going to start seeing a decline. In the next 2 years, almost guaranteed, we're going to see a decline in the TCG industry. In my opinion, the best time to increase your buying is when everyone else is decreasing their buying. In other words, when things get cheaper, at that point, you pick up the things that you really want for your collection. If you are working on let's say a full set of unlimited. Let's say you've got your revised dual lands, you've got your revised set, and you start out, and now you're working on a set of unlimited, Magic the Gathering, original, whatever set. You start saying, okay, I bought a couple of cards now, and then in 6 months when the market turns and all of a sudden a bunch of people start fluctuating to the market and selling their cards, now you can buy in at that at a lower rate. Don't look at what everybody else is doing and follow the trends, but instead go kind of adverse to the trends. Now, that doesn't mean to ignore the trends. If you were to ignore the trends on the Pokemon boom over the last year and a half, you would have missed out on a lot of really cool opportunities to pick up some really cool cards, to pick up some really cool stuff. But you can't just follow the trend. You also have to go you have to go against the grain too. So when everybody's selling stuff, that is the best time to buy, particularly things like vintage cards, old things that might only really pop up on the market when there's a negative downturn to the market. In other words, when people feel like, hey, this is going to zero, so now is the time to sell. That's when they maybe will let go of something that is more rare and valuable and harder to find. So you have an increased opportunity to pick up something that might not be on the market. There might not be somebody selling that card when it's a completely boom market and everything's going up. So increase when other people decrease. And then the last thing, and this is really, when I was sitting down to do this video, this was going to be the only thing I was going to talk about, but it wasn't just wasn't quite long enough. The last thing is to grow a network. And this is becoming increasingly important as I'm understanding how important this is as I continue to grow this side of the business and that kind of stuff, is that the people you know is so important to the liquidity of the things that you are collecting. And it's also important to the purchasing of the things that you're collecting, to know who you are buying from and to know who you are selling to is an extremely valuable idea. And you really only do that by networking. So this could mean many different things. For me, it's meant building this YouTube channel and having a plethora of people reaching out to me to sell stuff, having a plethora of people reaching out to me to buy stuff. People reach out to me all the time to buy dual lands, to buy reserveless Magic stuff, to buy high-end, Pokemon stuff. There's a great, interaction back and forth. People reach out to me to sell stuff and they reach out to me to buy stuff. And that's awesome. But also, you might not want to do that. You might not want to do the YouTube and the social media thing. Go to a local store. Get to know your local game store owners. Get to know them. Go to the shows, the conventions in your town. Right now, there are more conventions across the country than ever in the history of collectibles. There are so many collectible conventions. One of the easiest things you can do is just go walk around, introduce yourself to vendors, say, hey, I'm a Magic the Gathering collector. I really, you have any cool Magic the Gathering stuff? Talk to them about the games that they like. Getting to know people is such an important part of this hobby. And the way you treat people and the way that they will, treat you is so important. And then if you're going to collect things that have high value, $1,000 booster box, $1,500, Magic card, you have to start understanding that you can't just list that thing on eBay and it will sell tomorrow. And that's just not the way that it works. These things sit forever on eBay, on TCG Player. You can list your cards and they'll sit forever. But if you have a network of people, then when it comes time to sell something from your collection, it will be far, far easier to make that thing liquid as you sell it to somebody that you know, or as you hear from somebody. Hey, it happens all the time to me. A buddy of mine, Cody, he'll see some cards that I got, and 3 weeks later he'll say, hey man, I got a buddy who's looking for that card you got. Do you want to sell it? And then I don't have to do any work to sell the card. It's just like, yeah, I've got that card. I don't want it. It came in a collection, whatever. And it's a really easy way. But creating that network is so valuable and so important. And it's also super rewarding, not from a financial standpoint, but just to have other people to gain knowledge from, to get ideas from, to see what they're collecting and how they do their collecting, to see what type of equipment they use, what brand of top loaders they use, what type of binders they use. There's just really cool ways that you can grow in your hobby from networking and enjoying the presence of other people. And so growing your network is so, so important to the collecting hobby. So those are my 3 things. Buy for years, increase when other people decrease, and grow your network. I think if you can master those 3 things, you can turn your collection into really whatever you dream of, but it's not gonna happen tomorrow, right? A lot of the things you see on YouTube and a lot of the things you see on social media, it's the sum total of people investing and collecting for 15, 20, 50 years in the hobby. And so don't forget that time invested is as valuable as the money that you invest as well. So hopefully you have yourself a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.